You can really tell I'm facing the window.
Because your glasses?
Yep. It doesn't matter.
No,
it
does not.
The way my face is. My glasses catch the window. That didn't help at all.
No. Okay. Hi everybody, my name is Kelsey and we're about to get very, very nerdy with the Husbands New TBR. So I don't know if you remember, like, March, I want to say, at the beginning of 2020. It was like the first couple of months. We did a video where I gave him 5 books that he needed to read by the end of the year. So we're doing that again. I've picked 5 books for him to read in 2021. We're doing it a little bit earlier, so he's got a couple more months to do them. But we're going to revisit the ones that he was supposed to read in 2020. So, we're going to talk about his thoughts. Ready?
I think so.
Okay.
Okay, I've slept once or twice since I read these. So the first one I read was Persuasion. I went into it knowing that it wasn't my cup of tea. This is not my personal favorite, so I was like, I'm going to read this one first and just get it done.
Yeah.
And that sounds real negative, but I actually did enjoy this one. I can't remember if I got 3 or 4 stars.
I definitely thought that you didn't like it for some reason.
No, I enjoyed that one.
Cool. So not a failure.
No. The next one, let's see, I did this for the,
next one was a failure.
The May.
Oh, and Believe-a-thon?
No, the March
I think
thing.
was it in March? I think it was in May.
No, it wasn't May.
Was it May?
May then April.
That sounds right.
Bet it was April.
When, Gavin did his, like, 2-week Believe-a-thon randomly in the beginning of the year. That's when you read this, right?
I'm pretty sure it was April. Yeah, I read, The First School for Good and Evil. I did not like this book.
Did not like this book.
I was intrigued by it. It sounded really interesting, but it just felt like a swing and a miss. It was like this really great idea. I thought it was going to be Sky High meets Once Upon a Time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Which would be fascinating, by the way. But I did not like that book.
I get why this would not be people's favorites, especially after, like, listening to some of the things that you've, like, said about it. Like, as you were reading it, I don't remember what any of those are, but, like, I have this memory of you, like, having opinions and me going, oh, I never thought about that before. Okay, I can see that.
Yeah, I really disliked both the main characters, which
is big for you. If you don't like them, you can't.
If I don't like the characters, I really don't want to read this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What do you think you gave this? Like a 3?
I think I gave it 2.
A 2? Okay.
I think I gave it 2 because I think it was the owls.
Oh, that would be April.
It was the owls. It was April. I knew the month, but I forgot what it was for.
That makes sense. Cool. It's not everyone's favorite. I get that. I just wanted you to give it a shot, and you did.
I did.
Which I appreciate. It's like you have to dedicate, because each book gets bigger and bigger. Like, I look at that book, and I look at how tiny it is, and I have memory of me thinking, oh my gosh, this book is so big.
Yeah, I remember thinking it was very large.
And then you look at, like, the 5th book, and it's, like, twice as big. The next one is actually, so I picked this one for him, but it's not, it's more scary than I remembered, and so...
And I have a low tolerance.
This is true. So we put this on the back burner, but instead I gave him, I'll put it here, it's The Westing Game, which is one that I definitely am surprised I didn't even give you to begin with, because it's totally up your alley.
Yeah, it was totally up my alley. I loved that one. I think that one got 5.
Mm-hmm. I'll leave all these books down below so that you can, like, check out synopsises if you want to know more. But it's a mystery.
It's a mystery. Like, I was sitting there taking notes.
Oh, I did that too.
It's like this I didn't
big.
take notes in college.
That is also true.
I was taking notes during this book. That was a good book.
It's good.
That was one of That was one of the top reads of the year for sure.
So 5?
Oh yeah. That one probably would have gone higher if I could have.
Yay! I got a 5 from you. That's good. I'm spinning in this chair. Okay. What's next? I don't even remember. Oh, that one.
The next one is The Kingdom.
Which is sci-fi-ish.
Yes.
It's a YA sci-fi thing.
YA is being generous.
It is. Is it more middle, like, does it feel younger?
I say that YA is mostly written like a middle grade book, but some of the content is more adult. And that is definitely true of that one. I did enjoy it. I got angry at the ending. I didn't like the way it ended. Without giving away anything.
Right.
But you also don't know what's going on. It alternates between like story, and then there's this trial that's going on, and you don't know what the trial is for.
It is mixed media. It's got like transcripts in between the chapters.
It's got the trial is happening in modern day, I suppose. Well,
like present as far as like
present as far as when the story is taking place.
Okay.
And then it flashes back and tells the story.
Okay.
And then about 3/4 of the way through, you catch up and you're like, oh, I understand what's happening. But it took too long.
Okay. I like the cover. It's really pretty.
It is really pretty. And there was some interesting stuff in it. I don't know, I felt like the end was a cop-out, but...
Okay. You put, like, I've noticed that when you talk about books, the ending is really important to you.
Yeah.
So if it's like, if you feel like it's a cop-out, it's a bad, like, it's not
I've gone
great.
from books that I was going to give 1 star to giving it 5 stars because I liked the ending. That's a true story. That is a
true story. I know exactly which one you're talking about. I kind of forgot we owned this book until you pulled it out today. And the last one is actually the one that you're currently reading, but you haven't finished.
It is January.
It is January.
I had some eye stuff going on, and reading was giving me headaches. I had a lot of video editing to do this last year with everything being virtual and being an elementary school teacher. Then I also was editing 3 pretty massive projects all at the same time.
They were all like Christmas end of the year kind of things?
I had 2 for school, I teach at 2 schools, so 1 for each school, and then 1 for church.
So,
any hoozles.
Did you pick that from me, or did I get that from you?
I don't know, but that's definitely an us thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I say any hoozles all the time.
Yikes.
Okay.
So... I'm reading it currently. I'm trying to catch up. I've got several books that I intended to read at the end of the year. This is Phantom of Pemberley, not Phantom at Pemberley.
Pride and Prejudice Murder Mystery, it says right here. This is one that we picked up from McKay's.
We got it from
the
McKay's.
Big like book warehouse that we go to. I swear I found this and said, "Look at this," and he goes, "If you don't get it, I will." So he did.
So she picked
even
it
though
for
like
me.
It's gonna go to the same
spot. That was kind of my point.
Okay. But I wanted to read this, so I gave it to you so that I could see what you thought.
I'm roughly 1/3 of the way through it at this point.
Yeah, 126 pages, pretty good.
I'm enjoying it so far.
Good.
It's picked up.
Well, so
far it's picking up. I've now witnessed the first murder, so.
Ooh.
It has lots of characters from the original, which I did like the original being Pride and Prejudice, of course. It's got lots of characters from the original, or several, and then it adds in some new characters. I assume the added characters are added in to kill off. Just gonna be honest, that's what I fully anticipate with most of these characters, is that they were added to be eliminated.
You can't kill the Pride and Prejudice people.
No.
I mean, like, that's just mean. So, that finished, but started. So I'd call that a win.
Yeah. We're plowing through it.
Well, that's a look at kind of what we did last year. So now I have 5 totally new books for you. And I'm very excited about them because I think you're going to like them all.
Oh, good.
I'm like really excited. Okay, so, close your eyes. I have to like pull this up because I'm going to start with the one that we don't own.
Okay.
Because there is one that we don't own. So I'll put a picture here, but it's this one. It's Avrashah and the End of Time.
Okay.
So
I've
talked about this a lot because when you read Tristan Strong,
Mm-hmm.
which is by Rick Riordan Presents, this is also by Rick Riordan Presents. And every time you would talk about this book, it reminded me a lot of stuff that was happening in this book and like the feelings you would get from this book. Now, I haven't read this book, but you loved this one so much.
I did like that one a lot.
That I think that you would really like Arusha, and I got it from the library, so I know we can get it from our library.
Okay.
So whenever you're ready, we can like go pick it up.
Oh.
But yeah, so it follows Indian mythology.
Okay.
It follows our main girl Arusha, obviously, whose mom works in this museum, and in this museum there's a lamp, and it said that if you like light this lamp, you'll waken the god of the dead or something.
Okay.
And
oh yeah.
she gets kind of like bullied into doing it, and then it starts on this whole adventure. She gets matched up with this other girl who's supposed to help her out. There's this pigeon that they're like best friends with. He's my favorite character in the whole thing. I know he's a pigeon, but I always envision him as the toucan from the Fruit Loops. Like, that's just the image I have. And I didn't realize until the second book that he was actually a pigeon, so that's embarrassing. But it like follows like Indian mythology, and it's really kind of cool because it's like modern day stuff that they just like plop fantastical things. Anyway, it gave me a lot of the same feelings,
Yeah.
so I think you'll like this
That'll
one.
be interesting, because it'll be interesting to see how much I enjoyed this book for what it was.
Yeah.
And how much I enjoyed it because I'm like, oh yeah, I remember hearing that story, because apparently I grew up in a school system where we talked about
Was it
African American folklore.
Yeah.
Because like there were several of these stories that I was like, oh yeah, I know exactly who that is.
Mm-hmm. And see, when I read Ira Shaw, I knew like none of it.
Yeah.
Like I had no idea.
I have a feeling I won't know any of it.
And they do. I think they do a very good job of explaining. So like for kids who are not aware, they like do a good job of explaining like this tradition. And it's a quartet. So like if you're interested,
Okay.
there's 4 books. I've only read the first 2, but I love them both.
Okay.
Anyway, so that's my first one, is for you to read that. The next book is a Nancy Drew mystery. So I picked this one because it had the coolest title, in my opinion. It's The Hidden Staircase, but you could pick any of them.
Okay.
Because we have
the clock is the first one.
Okay, I had no idea, but I have all of these, and they're very middle grade mysteries, and you've read stuff that reminds me of them. So I thought that I would give you one to try out.
I remember
See what you think.
in elementary school, I tried to read The Hardy Boys.
Mm.
And I think it was above my reading level at that point in time, because I was in elementary school, and those are probably middle grade books.
Probably, I think. They're very
And while I was
simplistic.
a pretty good reader, I just got lost, and I got bored. Quite frankly, I got bored. There was too much plot and not enough mystery.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I don't know if you'll like this, but I just thought since you do like mystery, to give, because I remember, I haven't read these in literal years. My uncle gave me all of these really pretty editions. I don't know if you can tell how gorgeous these are. I have like 20. It's ridiculous. And I read a few, but I haven't read them all. And I remember liking them. So I thought I would give you something simple. There you go. I'll give you this one, and we can find the right one later. The next one is Green Glass House by Kate Milford. This is the one I want you to read in December.
Okay.
Because it's set around Christmas, but it's a mystery around Christmas.
Okay.
That's the one that I was telling you that, like, after Believe-a-thon in November, I was like, you need to read this in December.
Yes.
Okay, this is the one.
Yes.
It follows this kid named Milo who's been adopted by these 2 innkeepers. It's a married couple that owns an inn. And it starts on his Christmas break, and he expects there to be, like, nothing that's happening because, like, no one goes to visit them in Christmas. And then all of a sudden they get, like, 5 different people to stay in their inn, and they're like, well, wait a second. These aren't even regulars. What's happening? And so he's trying to figure out the connection between all of them and why they're all there. And the end shooketh me. That's not the right word of that, usage of that. I was shooketh by the end.
Okay.
Like, anyway, it's very wintry. It's snowing the entire time. It's just a good cozy. So I thought I'd give you something for the end of the year. Because I've been trying to make you read that one since last month. And we didn't get around to it.
I didn't read anything in December.
You didn't read anything. The next one is The Kitchen House by Kathleen Grissom. This is one that you told me you're interested in.
It looked interesting when I was inventorying. That is a weird verb. When I was creating our inventory over the pandemic.
We were home for months and months and months on end.
Yeah.
This is like a It's a historical fiction. It takes place in the 19th century on a tobacco plantation in Virginia, in a house, and it involves like, I'm trying to remember off the top of my head, which isn't working. It's like this kid who gets adopted by like the help, but she's white, and it's like her and this black kid.
Okay.
Yeah. Like she gets adopted by the staff, and then like the home, like the people who own the home notice her because she's white, and so they kind of like take her in. And so I think it's
goodness. I swear I slept last night. I wondered if that book was going to be in it because I saw a gap here. And I'm pretty sure that's where it went.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah, I mentioned that one. So I did know one.
You did. And the last one, where is it? Is actually one I haven't read.
Ooh.
And that is The Inheritance Game by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. You guys wouldn't have seen this yet. I just bought it like last week. That I've been interested in. It's like, it kind of reminds me of Knives Out, but like I found it in the store and I showed it to you and said, I think you'd like this. And you said, that sounds interesting. And I said, ooh, okay.
I remember, it's like I remember saying that sounded interesting.
So yeah, I haven't read this yet, but it sounds fascinating. And it's this girl who like gets this inheritance from this like guy who has like lots of money, and I don't think she's ever met him before. And his family is like, excuse me, no. And so it sounds like there's I don't know if there's like an actual game that they have to like do to get the inheritance, but I don't know. It sounded interesting, and I thought that you might like it.
I am intrigued.
So you'll have to let me know how that goes. Because I definitely, that's been circling recently, because that like just came out, and so that's been circling recently, and I've had my eye on it. So yeah, those are the books that I picked for Chris. I went very mysterious this time, I think. Yeah. I tried to give you variety last time, and now I'm just like, what would he like? These.
I've still got some that I want you to read at some point.
Oh, don't worry. I'm sure I'm gonna fail at my TBR at some point. So, you can just pick all the books for me. Those 4 plus Arusha. How'd you feel? Was that you being Arusha?
That was you putting Arusha on top. No, I feel pretty good about it.
I try not to give you... Actually, I didn't even really pay attention to how thick these were. I just gave you the books.
It's for a whole year. So, yeah. Like, really...
And also, I feel like you're not scared by page count.
I mean, I've read a 927-page book this year.
That's true. I mean, last year.
Last year. In the last 12 months, I have read a 927-page book.
That's true.
For fun.
That's true. I'm actually really excited about this. The more I look at the list, the more excited I was.
This will be fun.
Yeah. Think I did good?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned. We'll probably do a wrap-up at the beginning of next year. Or at the end of the year. I don't know. We'll see depending on how he reads these, or when he reads these. Please let me know down below if you've read any of the books that we have mentioned today. Again, I will leave links down below. If any of these sound interesting to you, check them out there. You can get better synopsises. Sure. Than what that we said here today. I'll also leave the video where we picked your first TBR linked above and down there somewhere if you want to check that out. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe down below if you want to be part of this awesome growing family. I've also got all my social media down there if you want to check out any of those, as well as all the links that I mentioned, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!